Welcome back to the Posh Cockney Podcast, hospitality news brought to you by the Industry Titans. And today's Titan is a gentleman called Robert Richardson, who is the General Manager of the Cave Hotels. Is that correct?
Yes, the Cave Hotel and Golf Resort in Bolton, Kent.
Nice to have you on the show, Robert. How's things?
It's good. I'm really good. Thank you very much for inviting me as well.
No problem. We've been speaking over the last few months about getting you on the show. I know you do some great work out in Kent at the moment, and as I live in Kent, I said we have to get you on. So how's things been? How have you been looking after yourself?
No, I'm good. It's been, I think for everyone, a really strange, really difficult year this year. And I think for me, it's not been as bad as, say, other people's, which personally is good. I'm seeing every time you turn on social media, some incredibly talented, wonderful people are struggling at the moment. And I think that's an awful sign of the times. So I'm comparatively lucky, I suppose.
So some people listening to the show may not know of you yet, Robert, but this is your platform. Tell us about your hospitality journey so far.
Okay, well, as you say, I'm Robert Richardson. I'm a fellow of Boutique Hospitality. I'm the newly appointed General Manager at the Cave Hotel and Golf Resort in Bolton, Kent. And that's a luxury independent boutique hotel. We actually only opened last year and then promptly closed down due to coronavirus. It relaunched last month and we've been incredibly busy since day one. We really did hit the ground running. We've got an 18-hole and a 9-hole golf course. And we also own a very popular restaurant about 10 miles away called the Korean Cowgirl. And that's a barbecue fusion restaurant, which, as I say, is very, very popular.
And I love my golf. And when you mentioned to me that had a golf course there, I said, I've got to come and see it. Has that affected, during the lockdown, when golf resorts were allowed to open up, was the hotel always open during lockdown or did you have a temporary closure?
The hotel and the golf resort closed during lockdown. We operated a very popular drive-through, a version of our Korean Cowgirl restaurant, and we would have people driving down from London and beyond just to sample the food. So I thought that was incredibly flattering for the team. The golf actually reopened just before the hotel and has been very busy, albeit with social distancing measures in place. My first day on site was actually 3 days after it reopened, and as I drove into the drive, the car park was full. There was a lot of happy, smiley faces, and I thought, especially given how the world is right now, that was a really promising start, and we've built on that ever since.
And how's business right now? Are you running at 100% occupancy, or is it slightly reduced?
It is very, very busy. I have to say, it's very busy. We're busy midweek, weekends. Our restaurants are busy, our bars are busy. We have a wonderful deck area, and that's always busy, especially given the weather and the location. I think people coming out of lockdown have missed the familiarity of places that they associate with, places they've made memories with, and they've missed the simple pleasures of literally just getting out of their front door and spending time with friends, family, loved ones, etc. Of course, we have social distancing measures in place, and the new normal now is wearing masks and keeping respective distance, using hand sanitizer. But I do think people have taken to the changes very, very well.
Well, it sounds like you're doing great things there. I have to, the listeners and readers and viewers will have to listen to some of the awards you've won. So let's go through them. There's too many for me to memorize. So the Boutique Hotelier 2020 Power List Young Trailblazer, winner of the Southern Enterprise Awards, Boutique Hospitality Manager of the Year in 2019. The list just goes on and on. That's fantastic. You're doing some great work, aren't you, Robert? How does that feel to get recognised for doing your job, basically?
It's. I'm going to be really inarticulate here. It's just bonkers. It's great to be recognised by your peers, to be fair. I've never set out to win awards, and I've never set out to get the awards that I've got. I'm very proud of them, I really am, and they do have pride of place in my house. If you take the Boutique Hotelier Power List, making that earlier this year, during lockdown, in point of fact, was the most surreal experience. I think, like most people, I was furloughed, and I got into DIY, as most people did, and I started decorating the office that I'm actually in now. And the day the list came out, I was up a ladder painting the ceiling in this room. And when I came down, my phone had gone mad with congratulations and people saying, well done, we're really proud of you. And I absolutely did not have a clue what anyone was talking about. And eventually I figured it out, and I got the email saying, congratulations, you've been recognised on the industry power list. And when I look at the amount of talent on that list and people I look up to, it really was the most bonkers experience. It's almost like some form of disassociation where you have some imposter syndrome and you're looking at it and saying, that's not me, I haven't earned that. So it is strange, but ultimately I am very proud of it.
What do you think life is like in Kent at the moment compared to London? You see the news in central London, the venue's not opening, it's like a ghost town in many areas. But Kent, and I've been out and about in Kent, Surrey, Essex, out of London places, and it seems to be booming. And we're talking to each other today on what's probably going to be the hottest day of the year. I mean, footfall must be huge down in Kent where you are right now.
I used to spend a lot of time in London. I haven't actually been back since March, but I have friends there and they send me pictures of Covent Garden and other areas, and they're very, very quiet. Kent, conversely, is absolutely booming. I walked around Canterbury Town last weekend, and it is like any other day, albeit with social distancing restrictions. So I think people have missed the interaction. And in fairness, as you say, it is the hottest day of the year today, or it's about to be. People want to get out, people want to be sociable, and people want the experiences that pre-COVID they were enjoying.
How happy are you in some ways that the staycations in 2020 is just going to go through the roof, and holidaying abroad is sort of, people aren't doing it. They're not going to trust being kept, booking a holiday and then having a quarantine hit on them for 14 days. I mean, it must mean that hoteliers in southern England are just going to reap the rewards for the rest of the year.
I think so. I mean, pre-joining Cave, I was general manager of a hotel at the other side of Kent, which was a seaside hotel overlooking the English Channel. And occupancy there was picking up in leaps and bounds as we came out of lockdown. Occupancy at the Cave is very, very high. I think the staycation market in the short term is here to stay. I think we'll see that grow into next year. I think consumers will want to start going abroad again, but there's also an element of faith. As you say, you don't want to quarantine for 14 days if you're having a long weekend away. So these are going to be decision makers. I think Kent is uniquely placed in that it's got so many wonderful areas for people that are coming out of the city. It is a really great hospitality vacation spot.
I'm interested to know what your style is like as a manager. You get some general managers that are very, very front of house, they're great with guests, and then you get some that are quite back of house and just really good at running the ship. What do you do?
I think I'm a mixture of the two. I like being on the floor. I like interacting with people. Certainly hitting the ground running in my new role as GM of Cave. I've been out on the floor a lot, learning the business, learning the customers, learning the team. My way of managing, if you like, is always from the front. I like to work with people. I like to empower people. I don't like being the type of manager that's dictatorial or regains a lot of control. You don't have talented people and then do the job for them. You empower them to do the job for you. And certainly, I think if I was going to spend 8 hours sitting behind a desk typing on a laptop, I'd get bored by minute 5.
Do you think in the near future that Robert Richardson will have his own hotel?
I've thought about this, in fairness, and I think at the moment I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to rule that out. I don't know what the future holds. And if you'd have asked me at the start of this year, would the year have gone the way it has, I would have been widely off the mark. But I do enjoy what I do. I do enjoy the people element of it, and certainly I wouldn't rule anything out. I think the future is so unquantifiable at the moment for all of us, so it'd be restricting to say no.
How do you define success in your role and at Cave Hotels? When you wake up every day and you go, today's going to be a good day, how at the end of the day have you defined success?
I think there's 2 ways. You define success in terms of revenue. Obviously, we are a business at the end of the day, and to continue trading as a business, we have to bring money in, we have to manage costs, and we have to create a healthy return for the owners. Conversely, there's the people factor. So I know we're doing well when I'm walking around and everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, there's a buzz in the air, there's a great atmosphere. and people are wanting to be in your business. And for me, there's no greater compliment, there's no greater success than that. You know, if you walked into my hotel or any other hotel and it was stark, sterile, people were tense, you know, no one was smiling, I think you wouldn't last very long before you turn around and found somewhere else.
Is there any new consumer trends at the moment in Kent? Are they preferring to eat outside? Are they, you know, drinking more? Is there anything new down there that you're picking up that you can share with the listeners?
There's a huge amount of alfresco dining, which partly is due to the seasonality of the weather, partly I think because people are still worried about COVID. And we have to keep in mind, although I don't want to turn this into a discussion about COVID-19, it hasn't gone away. It's still in the background. We haven't found a cure, so people are wary of it. In terms of trends, we're seeing an awful lot of traffic through either social media or by telephone or by email, asking about what we're doing to keep people safe, what cleanliness procedures we put in. We've had people contacting us and researching how our area geographically has managed the outbreak, what the R number is, etc. So I think these are trends that are certainly here to stay until COVID is cured. And I think people are now voting with more of a faith in cleanliness and faith in hygiene than anything else at the moment. And I can't say I blame them, to be fair.
What do you think, in your opinion, is the future for hospitality in the UK?
I think the staycation market is going to grow. I think people are going to look more to the UK, Scotland, Wales, Ireland than abroad at the moment for the reasons we spoke about before. I think we're going to have a huge focus on cleaning procedures. That you see there's a rise of cleaning accreditation schemes at the moment, which is, I think, very, very sensible. In terms of our team, when we go back to February, March of this year, we had a premise from government of our team members being low skilled, and I think that's quietly faded away right now, and I think that's right and proper. I think now our teams are more like frontline heroes. If you think during the pandemic, hotels were opening up to home key workers or people that needed refuge, and I think in terms of PR, it certainly realigned people's perceptions of us, and hopefully the government will turn around and accept that when they look at the immigration scheme that at the start of this year was so prevalent. Yeah,
I fully agree that. On my final question here, you seem to have accomplished so much, and you seem like a young man. So I'm keen to know what other goals you have in this industry.
Sure. I think currently I like to empower people and work with people. I do something called Inspiring Hospitality Talent, which is bringing people from disadvantaged backgrounds or people with disabilities into our industry. In January, I took a group of school leavers up to the Savoy. We had a great morning there, and then we went to the Strand Palace and we did speed mentoring with some incredible people from our industry, like Brenda Collins from Preferred Hotels or Peter Tucker from the Institute of Hospitality, and many, many more. So I'd like that to grow. I'm looking forward to growing the Cave brand. We've got plans for expansion at the moment, and if we get our current hotel right, then I think you'll see more of it. And so far, I think it's working, so I'm looking forward to growing a brand and genuinely helping realign the industry in what's going to be a very strange but very brave new world, if that's not too much of a lofty statement.
It sounds like you've got it all planned out. I will definitely come and see you, Robert, and play a bit of golf. Maybe do you play?
I haven't played for years, actually. I was talking to our director of golf yesterday and saying he's going to have to start giving me some lessons because my hand-eye coordination is not something you would list as skillful.
Well, that sounds good for me. We'll put some money on it as well then.
Great, lovely, cheers.
Robert, look, it's been great speaking to you. You sound so passionate. I know I'm so happy we've got you on the show. I wish you all the best down at Cave Hotels. And we'll share your LinkedIn and the website for people to get in touch after the show. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for inviting me. Take care.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.